In the beginning there was nothing but Ginnungagap, the boundless void between fire and ice. From the north loomed the icy Niflheim, and from the south blazed the fiery Muspelheim. Where the heat met the frost, the ice began to melt. And from those droplets was born the giant Ymir, the forefather of all that exists. Along with him appeared the cow Audumla, who nursed him with her milk. Licking the salty ice, she freed yet another being, Buri. The first of the gods, Buri had a son named Bor, who married the giantess Bestla, daughter of Boltorn. From this union 3 brothers were born, Odin, Vili, and Ve. Thus, for the first time in the history of the worlds, the blood of the gods and the blood of the giants were united in a single race. It was Odin who was destined to become the greatest of them all, the All-Father, ruler of Asgard, and god of wisdom, war, and poetry. But before claiming the throne, the brothers had to carry out a deed that would forever change the very fabric of the universe. Odin, Vili, and Ve rebelled against the first giant, Ymir, and killed him. From his blood, the seas and oceans were formed, flooding nearly all the Jotnar. Only Bergelmir and his family survived. From Ymir's flesh, the brothers created the earth. From his bones, the mountains. From his hair, the forests. And from his skull, they raised the vault of heaven, placing 4 dwarf guardians at its corners: Nordi, Sudri, Ostri, and Vestri. Thus, from the giant's body, an orderly world, Midgard, came into being. One day, while walking along the seashore, Odin and his brothers came upon 2 trees, an ash and an elm. From them, they created the first humans, the man Ask and the woman Embla. Odin breathed spirit and life into them. The Vili gave them intellect and movement, and Ve endowed them with a face, speech, sight, and hearing. Thus humanity came into being, and Midgard gained its inhabitants. But this was not enough for Odin. He was drawn to the wisdom hidden deep within the well of the giant Mimir, and for it he was willing to sacrifice even an eye. In the days of ancient gods, voivodes, and kings, the long-suffering land awaited a hero. And then came the mighty Demiurge Tales channel, tempered in the flames of battle. Power, passion, danger. His videos will change the world. Odin's thirst for knowledge led him to Mimir's well, hidden beneath the roots of Yggdrasil. Whoever drank even a single sip from it gained the wisdom of all time. But Mimir demanded payment, and Odin, without hesitation, plucked out his own eye and cast it into the water. Ever since, the well has glistened at the bottom with the god's golden eye. Odin drank his fill of the sacred water and gained foresight, becoming the wisest of all the gods. But this was only the first of the sacrifices the All-Father would make in the name of knowledge in his quest to obtain the runes, the secret symbols that govern the fate of the world. Odin accomplished an even more terrifying feat. He pierced himself with his own spear, Gungnir, and hung himself from the sacred ash tree Yggdrasil, dedicating himself to himself. For 9 days and nights, he hung there without food or water, swaying above the abyss of Niflheim. On the brink of death, he saw the runes rising from the depths, and, seizing them, gained power over magic, writing, and destiny. Thus was born the runic wisdom of the gods. Another treasure that Odin sought was the Mead of Poetry, a drink brewed from the blood of the sage Kvasir, which bestowed the gift of eloquence and inspiration. The mead was guarded by the giant Suttung deep within a mountain, under the watch of his daughter Gunnlod. Odin transformed himself into a serpent, slithered through a crevice in the rock, and seduced Gunnlod, spending 3 nights with her. During that time, he drank all the mead in 3 gulps, transformed into an eagle, and flew to Asgard, where he poured the drink into the god's cup. And thus poetry became Odin's gift to humanity. A curious story connects Odin to his 8-legged horse, Sleipnir. When the gods were building the walls of Asgard, a giant builder promised to complete the work in a year in exchange for the sun, the moon, and the goddess Freya. To throw off the deadline, the cunning Loki transformed himself into a mare and distracted the builder's stallion. Later, Loki, having become pregnant in the form of a mare, gave birth to a gray, eight-legged foal. Sleipnir, the fastest horse in the world. Odin took him for himself, and ever since, the All-Father has been riding him as he races between the worlds. Every day, two ravens, Huginn, Thought, and Muninn, Memory, perch on Odin's shoulders. At dawn, they fly out of Asgard and circle the entire world, and in the evening they return and whisper to the All-Father everything they have seen and heard. Odin himself admitted that he fears not Muninn's failure to return, but that one day Huginn might not fly back. In addition to the ravens, he is served by two wolves, Geri and Freki, whom he feeds from his own table, for according to legend, Odin himself subsists solely on wine, spurning the food of mortals. In Asgard, Odin built Valhalla, a palace with golden shields instead of a roof, where the Valkyries bring the souls of the bravest warriors who have fallen in battle. There, the Einherjar fight one another every day, die, and are resurrected, and in the evening they feast on the meat of the boar Sleipnir and the honey that flows from the udder of the goat Hydrun. Odin gathers this army not out of pity for the dead, but out of cold calculation. The day of Ragnarök will come, and he will need every sword to stand against the forces of chaos and the giants. Odin's wife was the wise Frigg, the goddess of marriage and motherhood, who knew the fates of all beings but never revealed them. With her, Odin had a son, Balder, the most beautiful and kindest of the gods, the favorite of all Asgard. In addition to Frigg, Odin had a relationship with the giantess Jord, with whom he fathered the mighty Thor, and with Rind, who bore him a son named Val. Odin's numerous children are a testament to just how central a figure he was in the fate of the entire pantheon and the coming war of the gods. Balder had an ominous dream about his own death. Alarmed, Frigg made all things in the world swear not to harm her son, but she forgot only the mistletoe sprout, which seemed too insignificant to her. Upon learning of this, the treacherous Loki fashioned a dart from mistletoe and persuaded the blind god Gud to throw it at Balder for fun. The dart struck the young god on purpose, and the brightest of the gods perished. Even the attempt by Odin's son Hermod to plead for Balder's release from Hel, the realm of the dead, failed. This became the first harbinger of the approaching Ragnarök. Balder's death was the last straw for the gods. Loki, fearing the wrath of Asgard, fled and hid, transforming himself into a salmon in a mountain river. But the gods caught him nonetheless. As punishment, they chained Loki to 3 stones using his own sons, who had been transformed into wolves, and hung a poisonous serpent above his face. Loki's faithful wife, Sigrun, holds the bowl, collecting the poison dripping from above. But every time she has to step away to empty the bowl, drops fall onto Loki's face, and the earth trembles from his suffering. Alarmed by the ominous signs, Odin set out for the realm of the dead to awaken a long-dead Velva, a seeress buried at the gates of Hel. He compelled her spirit to speak through the runes and asked about the future. The seeress told him everything, about the death of Balder, which he had already endured, and about the next, even more terrible event, Ragnarök, the end of the gods. She described how the chained Loki would be freed, how the wolf Fenrir would break free, and how Odin himself would meet his death in the jaws of this beast. The All-Father listened to the prophecy in silence. The signs of Ragnarök began to come true, one after another. The red rooster crowed 3 times in Jotunheim, the earth shook, and Fimbulwinter, 3 years of unbroken winter with no summer in between, engulfed all the worlds. Brothers began killing brothers for power, and family loyalty vanished. The wolf skull finally swallowed the sun, and his brother Hati swallowed the moon, and the sky was plunged into darkness. The land of Midgard trembled so violently that the tree holding the chained wolf Fenrir was torn up, and Jörmungandr, the serpent of Midgard, rose from the depths of the ocean. The giants arrived on Naglfar, a ship made of the nails of the dead, and the fiery Surtur from Muspelheim led his army across the Bifrost Bridge, destroying it forever. The armies clashed on the plain of Vigrid. Odin, leading the Einherjar, rushed at the wolf Fenrir, but the beast swallowed Allfather alive. Thor defeated Jörmungandr, but died from its poison. Frey fell by Surt's sword. Odin's son, Vidar, avenged his father by tearing open the wolf's jaws. Finally, Surtur reduced the 9 worlds to ashes with fire, and everything was submerged in the ocean. But from the ashes, a new, renewed Earth was to be born. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, and share your impressions of the video.